Brands are exposed when athletes make news. Marketing analysts forecasted a surge in WNBA jersey sales, interest in All-Star Game tickets, and league visibility following the draft. Some even liken Clark's impact on the WNBA to Simone Biles' impact on gymnastics or Serena Williams' impact on tennis. Not just Clark is attracting a new type of fan base to the sport thanks to her. The moment was further enhanced by Cheryl Miller's forceful remark and Sophie Cunningham's enthusiastic support. It demonstrated that the WNBA is full with strong, vocal women who are prepared to question conventions and spearhead cultural discussions. Today's brands are eager to participate in it. In the long run, this all-star moment is probably going to alter the way the event is conducted. It's not just a fun exhibition anymore. It serves as a platform for influence, leadership, and creative control. Fans can now anticipate annual player-driven updates. Will players once more select their coaches in the draft? Will supporters have a say in who coaches are hired? Is there a captain's challenge that would allow leaders to alter the rules in the middle? This is a chance for the WNBA to embrace fan interaction and creativity. The NBA may increase the already enormous size of All-Star Weekend by granting players more autonomy. Not everyone wants to watch basketball. They desire people, rivalries, stories, and unpredictability. All of that was provided to them in a single evening by Caitlin Clark. The All-Star Game structure itself may change. The NBA has already experimented with many models, including team charities and target scores. The WNBA might take a similar route, where history and innovation converge in fascinating ways, with up-and-coming players like Clark and fearless voices like Cunningham and Miller guiding the discussion. As the All-Star Game drew near, fans were anticipating more than just the outcome. They watched to see how Clark would lead, how the players would react to the altered dynamics, and how the coaches would adjust to unforeseen developments. Once thought to be a rule-breaking maneuver, the coach swap turned out to be the event's defining feature and perhaps a league-wide turning point. For more WNBA updates, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Tell us in the comments section, was this a play for fun, a message to the league, or a power move? History was made in any case. She selected Sandy Brondello, a coach renowned for her flexible methods and close bonds with her athletes. Many people think she would give Clark the latitude she required to perform at her peak during the showcase game. Sophie Cunningham, another WNBA player, joined the conversation as the rumors about the coach trade circulated on social media and in sports media. Cunningham, who is well known for her fiery enthusiasm and outspoken nature, has long been a voice in the league for pushing limits and defending players' rights. She wasn't afraid to express her support for Clark, complimenting her self-assurance and capacity for decisive action. Having gone through her own share of struggles in the league, Cunningham understood the importance of a young player like Clark taking on a leadership position at such an early stage of her career. Cunningham also took advantage of the occasion to draw attention to the league's changes. Players used to frequently adhere blindly to the league's rules. The younger generation of sportsmen is now demonstrating that they are not scared to speak up and take charge when they believe something needs to change, with celebrities like Clark setting the example. Cunningham underlined that this is beneficial for women's sports generally, as well as the league's expansion. When they witness athletes being authentic, taking risks, and taking charge of their careers, fans are more moved. Legendary basketball player Cheryl Miller made waves with her opinion and response to the event, even as Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham made headlines with their audacious voices and deeds. One of the all-time greats in women's basketball and a seasoned analyst, Cheryl Miller has long been a fervent supporter of the development and integrity of the sport. She referred to the coach swap as one of the most thrilling and significant events in the history of the All-Star Game. It wasn't merely entertainment, in her opinion. There was a change in the way WNBA players are perceived in regard to authority and decision-making. Miller clarified that such a scenario demonstrated the league's growth. It would have been unimaginable in the past for players to select or switch coaches on national television. The league now promotes individuality, player participation, and fan interaction. Miller commended Clark's self-assurance and professionalism, pointing out that this would probably create a different atmosphere for subsequent occasions. According to her, The WNBA was about to enter a new age in which players would have more authority and spectators would enjoy themselves more. The matchups for the All-Star Games were decided by the end of the draft. Some of the league's top young players, such as Aaliyah Boston, Sata Sabali, Sabrina Ionescu, and A. Wilson, made up Caitlin Clark's squad. The club featured a combination of strategic leadership and dynamic offense under Sandy Brondello's coaching. Conversely, Kier's squad, which was captained by Cheryl Miller, included another formidable squad in Breanna Stewart, Paige Buchers, Nneka Ogwumike, and Alicia Gray. In addition to being competitive, the All-Star Game on July 19th was expected to be a spectacle full of drama, excitement, and adrenaline. The story's ability to conflate amusement with competition was what made it so captivating. The unscripted drama that is commonly found in men's leagues, particularly the NBA, was introduced by Clark. There is a lot of discussion when LeBron James speaks up or alters the dynamics of the squad. The world took notice when Caitlin Clark started doing something similar in the WNBA. This was a pivotal occasion for a league that has frequently battled for equal media attention. Social media was inundated with panel discussions, highlight reels, and viral videos. Sports fans were no longer the only ones watching. Those who had not previously followed the WNBA became intrigued. The fact that this wasn't a premeditated media stunt was another point raised by numerous observers. It was authentic, impromptu, and bursting with individuality. That genuineness is what drew in so many admirers. The WNBA has frequently been criticized by sports media for being overly formal, with players required to abide by the rules, keep quiet, and concentrate solely on the game. In a single sentence, however, Caitlin Clark altered that, and the media applauded her for it. One thing was also made very evident at this time. In the WNBA, player influence is increasing. For a long time, athletes had little say in the major decisions made by coaches and league officials. But a change was indicated by the All-Star coach swap. Clark demonstrated that the players are prepared to lead the decision-making process in addition to wanting to participate in it. This is also seen in other league regions. In the Players' Union, athletes including A.A. Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Nama Mickey have assumed leadership positions and contributed to the development of policies pertaining to marketing, compensation, and travel conditions. The next generation of players is obviously more powerful than ever now that Clark has taken center stage as a rookie and is already influencing coaching choices. It's also noteworthy that the league chose not to shut it down. Despite breaking the established format, the WNBA permitted the coach swap to take place. That silent affirmation said a lot. "We're listening to the players," the league said in this manner. A similar approach would have resulted in fines or public backlash in other leagues, but in this one, it was celebrated with a worthy headline. That demonstrates how much the WNBA is developing in terms of both player and leadership trust as well as talent. Unquestionably, the coach change also represented a broader generational shift in basketball. A new generation of athletes is exemplified by athletes like Caitlin Clark, self-assured, tech-savvy, and not scared to question the existing quo. The younger generation was raised observing the on- and off-court expressions of NBA players. They observe how athletes were able to communicate with fans directly through social media, player branding, and public venues. They are currently doing the same in the WNBA. Traditional buildings don't wish to confine this new generation. They want rivalries to develop, drama to naturally arise, and personalities to show. That approach was exemplified by the All-Star Game coach trade. Fans adored it because it was audacious, spontaneous, and slightly rebellious. The groundwork was established by more seasoned athletes, such as Sue Bird and Tamika Catchings, who were dedicated and professional. Players like Caitlin Clark are now constructing something larger, louder, and more noticeable by building on that base. The WNBA of today is so unique because it combines elements of the past and contemporary. The league is changing while staying true to its origins. Additionally, Caitlin Clark's audacity is changing how business sponsors perceive the WNBA. Athletes that can produce viral moments are highly valued by brands. Following the coach exchange, which received millions of views and trending hashtags, businesses paid attention. Before the season started, Clark already had significant agreements with companies like Gatorade and Nike. However, this type of publicity increases her marketability even more. The WNBA is seeing a rise in personality-driven sponsorships. Star power is more important than statistics alone. One of the most talked about events in women's basketball history was the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game. Nationwide, fans anticipated spectacular plays and thrilling performances, but few anticipated what would happen during the All-Star Draft. One of the league's most well-known rising stars, Caitlin Clark, took charge in a manner rarely seen from a rookie, appending the event's customary format and making headlines before the game even started. Important figures like Sophie Cunningham and the renowned Cheryl Miller joined her on the national stage. Each of them had a distinct part in what became a memorable sporting event. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA with extremely high expectations, having made waves since her record-breaking collegiate days at Iowa. Her long-range shooting, court vision, and gutsy demeanor soon won her the admiration of both peers and spectators. She was chosen as captain of one of the two All-Star teams because she was so well-liked that she outvoted all other players in the All-Star fan vote. That in and of itself was remarkable, particularly given that she was a novice. However, Clark didn't end there. The league was rocked by her subsequent actions. On July 8, 2025, during the live, televised All-Star Draft, Caitlin Clark performed something that had never been done before. When the time came to confirm the head coaches assigned to each team at the end of the draft, she casually turned to face the captain of the opposing team, Nifa Collier, and suggested a coach swap, something that had never occurred in league history. When Clark was first assigned to the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Miller intended to exchange her for Sandy Brondello, the head coach of the New York Liberty, who had been assigned to Collier's squad. Clark and Nafisa Collier both laughed, and the league administrators permitted the move to remain in place. This unplanned incident quickly made headlines. The switch had never been made before, but it wasn't all. It was the assurance with which Clark assumed command of the circumstance. She specifically said, "I'm not sure if this is permitted. Before making the trade proposal, I said, I don't really care." Even in high-profile occasions like the All-Star Game, her audacity made a message about how players were now speaking up and how the game is run and played. She was commended by many admirers for her initiative and for energizing the occasion. Others interpreted it as a direct reaction to recent conflicts between Coach Reeve and Clark, including criticism that had surfaced earlier in the season during discussions about the Olympic squad. A well-known WNBA coach with years of expertise and a solid coaching record, Coach Cheryl Miller was recently embroiled in controversy over Caitlin Clark's Olympic snub. Miller, who coached the national team, was essential to Clark's exclusion from the Team USA women's basketball squad for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. The rookie's decision to trade her out of the All-Star Game may have been motivated by animosity between Clark and Miller, according to conjecture from fans and pundits. Many people saw the move as a subdued yet impactful statement, regardless of whether that was Clark's actual purpose. Following the trade, Nafisa Collier, who ultimately had Coach Miller on her side, accepted the event in stride. Miller already knew all of Collier's Minnesota Lynx teammates, which may be advantageous to them, so she quipped that Clark might have made a mistake in the transaction. Although the tone remained playful, it was obvious that this was a calculated and serious move. Clark desired a coach with whom she could feel at ease and who could have a greater understanding of her playing style.